Myles Garrett getting the big money in Cleveland, 125 million, 5 years, 25 million a year average annual salary, a record for a defensive player. And Garrett, as we all know, ended the season after trying to put Mason Rudolph's head on the mantle above his fireplace, is back and ready to go. He ended the season with 10 sacks. 10 sacks in 10 games. That's a 16 sack pace right there. 13.5 in 2018. That's compared to, we'll bring him up, J.J. Watt, often looked at as the best defensive player in the league there for a bit. Might as well, we're comparing him. We're going to pay him like the best defensive player. Might as well talk about him like the best defensive player. J.J. Watt, 20.5 and 10.5 sacks in his second and third years in the league. That was Garrett's last 2 seasons, just to clarify there, second and third years compared to Watt's in his second and third years in the league. Watt, obviously, it's an interesting topic because we just seen Garrett reportedly getting 100 million in guarantees, which is a lot for a position where, injuries can flare up and play guys. Hopefully that doesn't happen, for Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns' sake here. He stays healthy throughout the tenure of his contract here and his career. But it's always a possibility, which is, kind of interesting to see the guarantee be as high as it is for that reason. But still, at the end of the day, the big question becomes, is Myles Garrett worth best defensive player in the league money? And that is a tough question. But here's the thing, regardless of what he is or isn't to the entire league, to the Browns, he's their best defensive player. This guy dropped double the sacks of any other Browns player that was on this team last season. He knows how to get to the quarterback with the best of them. Again, he missed 6 games with those numbers. He's still doubled anybody else in his team. They really depend on this guy to get to the quarterback. And as we know, it is very important to have somebody or a couple guys that can get that quarterback. It makes the life of everybody in that secondary 10 times easier when there's some pressure on the face of that quarterback. They don't have all day to pick apart your defense. So for that reason, he's their guy through and through, right? If you're the Browns, you got to start somewhere. You got to start building around guys. That's got to be the end all goal here. And I think Myles Garrett is a great place to start. Whether you agree or disagree with the money you got, you have to respect this man's play and how good he has been on the field. And again, how much the Browns think he's worth here to them. That is where we look at this one here. Myles Garrett, the big extension here in Cleveland.